Welcome back to the video. Like I said, this is part 2, so we're gonna go ahead and focus on staining, doing the graphics, personalizing it, and then finishing. So here I'm just applying some black ebony stain. I like using a cotton rag better than any type of brush, at least in my thinking. I think I can manage it better, move it around better, and apply it a lot better. So I'm gonna do the edges here. It's always a good idea to wipe with the grain, but sometimes you can do against the grain and then come back over it. All right, so now I'm laying down the masking tape. This is gonna help me do the stencil of the personalization of the board. All right, so on the edges, you want to use some type of paper, wrapping paper or anything. You don't want to waste too much tape. So you can use this kind of paper to cover the rest of it, knowing that the stencil is not going to be as big as that. And now we're doing the same thing on the other side. So now we want to know where the middle of the board is. So we can go ahead and center it with the laser. If you are doing this with just a regular stencil that you printed out, then you don't need to do this step. All you need to do is put the stencil over it, tape it down, and then just paint it. In my case, I got the laser, so I'm using that. And now we just go ahead and place the laser on top of it and center it with that X. Okay, so now we are in the design stage that we're gonna do whatever message was the client wanted on there. So they wanted some kind of leaves and some family gathers here on the cover. So we'll go ahead and use Lightburn for this. Since I'm lucky enough to have a laser engraver, I can go ahead and use Lightburn. This is not a Lightburn tutorial, but you can follow along and see how I get this done. So we'll copy the image. They wanted these kind of leaves. We'll go ahead and paste them on Lightburn. That's too small, so we'll make them bigger before we trace them. We'll right click it, trace image. We'll go ahead and set OK. Move the trace away from the image. Now we can go ahead and delete the image. And it's still kind of too small for me, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna separate both of it or ungroup it. So ungroup, that makes each one of these as a single item. So we'll go ahead and delete one of them because this is the one that we want to go ahead and adjust, make it longer. And then we're going to go ahead and right click, copy, right click, paste, mirror it up here. Then what I want to do is for it to cover the whole area. Or something kind of like that, okay? So we'll go ahead and make them a little bit smaller. And again, what we do to the one on the right, the good thing about this is that I can delete that. Then right click it, copy, right click it, paste, mirror it, and then coming back down. That way I am saving on trying to make sure that they're both exactly the same length and height and same measurements. I know that both of these are exactly the same measurement because I did it to this one, and then I just copied and pasted it. So what next I'm gonna do is go ahead and gather both of them together and group them. This will help me to go ahead and move it around without having to have any issues with them, not moving together and so on and so forth. So what they want, what the customer wants is family gathers here on here. So we'll go ahead and get a text, put it here. We'll go ahead and write it. Family, doesn't spell right. And then underneath, they want gathers here. So what I want to do is, let me take that back. I'm going to go ahead and do the family by itself. Click the arrows and we can go ahead and move it around. And then we'll do another one for the gathers here part. We'll go back to the arrow selection tool. And we kind of try to get them centered as best as we can. Now, that's going to change because of course the font is going to be way bigger, and that is not the font that I'm wanting. So we'll go through here I really like this bush strip, so we'll go ahead and use that and make it way bigger. Again, I wanted to take a lot of the board itself. We'll move it up. I think I want to make it a little bigger. And then the gathers here, we'll go with bush strip as well. Make it a little bigger, but not huge like the family is. I want to be able to see it, but I don't want it to overtake the family part of it. Go ahead and make this bigger. Again, I want to take most of the working area. And we'll make it nice and neat right there. Family gathers here. Alright, so then the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gather everything together and I'm gonna go ahead and group it. Why am I doing that? Because I need to flip the whole thing. Remember that my laser is sideways on the piece. So I'm gonna need to go ahead and make it sideways. So we'll go here, press 90 degrees. It's not exactly what I want, so we'll go back and we'll do -90. And it's a little bit too big, so what we'll do is just shrink it from this side so it shrinks all together. Go ahead and kind of center it. Make sure everything is within the working area. This is when these little square boxes come in handy. You kind of eyeball it and make sure that everything is kind of like it's supposed to be in center and all the other good stuff. All right, so now we got it set up like I want it. And then we'll go ahead and hook up the laser to the computer and go through the settings. We're gonna make sure that not only centered, but we frame it as well, just to make sure that everything is good and there's no issues, no things in the way, no movement of the laser where it doesn't need to go. I gotta set my current position and right in the middle of the job, because that's where we're starting, and then we'll frame it. It was a good thing that I did the frame, because it showed me that it would not be able to work it. So what I did is that I moved my design over to the left some on here, meaning that it'll go up on the actual laser. So another frame. Still doing the same thing, so I need to move it some more. Move it left some more. Recenter my laser head. And do another frame. Okay, so now we have it all set up. The laser is on. I came to my library and I used the paper, sticker paper for tape. And what I want is for the laser to do a line all around it. Okay, so we have 685% of power. That's how I've done it before. So we'll go from there. I want to go ahead and make a little look-see. Make sure everything looks about right. We'll go okay. Go laser. We'll make sure that the laser is in the middle of the X that I marked. And we'll set the height. All right, so it looks like it's gonna be centered there. Now we go in and get all of the cutouts with an X-Acto knife. Okay, so now that we have everything, the stencil done, we can go ahead and give it some spray paint. So some white spray paint to make some nice contrast with the black paint. So we went ahead and spray painted it white. We'll give it a couple minutes and then we'll go ahead and pull the rest of the tape off. We don't want it to be too dry because then we don't want to pull in the paint off of it. So we just give it a couple minutes and then go ahead and pull the whole thing off. And that's all it takes to do your own personalized stovetop cover for a lot less. Thank you for watching.